gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
A Douglasville, Georgia mom has been charged with murder after her 3-year-old died in the freezing cold.
Dang.
Police say the woman took her 2 small kids in the woods at night while she was high on cocaine and marijuana. All 3 were later found soaking wet and exposed to frigid conditions.
Wow. So, there you have it. Another single mother deleting her child. And she had to know that this was going to happen if she exposed her child to the freezing cold with no type of winter garments on. And obviously she was high. She was going through some things. She had plenty of issues. And it led to the demise of her child, which is a horrible thing.
She caused the death of Alina Pascal, a human being, a child, by taking the aforementioned child into the woods in the rain and freezing temperatures with minimal clothing for a period of over 11 hours.
11 hours. And I mean, this is what a lot of these leftists are rooting for, right? With the abortion narrative and, you know, even you have third trimester abortions being admitted now, and I mean it's ridiculous. And this is a leftist wet dream for a woman who feels burdened by a child to just get rid of the child. But this is a very sad scenario, and one that happens way too often in the community. These super single mother gremlins are on demon time,
Causing the child to become hypothermic and to die from exposure.
Well, this isn't the first time that Ridge is accused of child endangerment. In November of last year, Ridge was arrested for being drunk at a bar and becoming physical with her children.
Now we have this breaking news. A mother is charged with murder after her 3-year-old child died in the cold. Douglas County investigators say Uriha Ridge was staying at the Foxhall Resort earlier this month with her 2 children. According to deputies, Ridge and the children went outside in sub-freezing temperatures overnight for hours. They say the mother was using illegal drugs and didn't call for help despite having a charged cell phone. The woman's 7-year-old...
And she had a charged cell phone, could have called for help, but she did this on purpose. She did this on purpose and thought she was going to be able to get away with it. These women, man, this new breed, they're evil.
Was able to survive, but had to be hospitalized.
Douglas County, a 3-year-old girl is dead and her mother is in jail. Night in Douglas County, a 3-year-old girl is dead and her mother is in jail on child abuse charges. Deputies say that woman spent the night in the woods with her 2 kids while on drugs. Tonight we're learning this is not her first arrest for cruelty to children. Fox 5's Rob D'Arienzo has spent the evening piecing all of this together. He joins us now in Douglas County. Such a tragic situation, Rob.
Yeah, Courtney, some pretty unbelievable details we're finding out. Douglas County Sheriff's deputies announced this arrest and this death earlier this evening. The woman claimed she was lost in the woods, but deputies say her phone was on the entire time. This wet, cold weather proved deadly for her 3-year-old daughter.
Wow.
Investigators in Douglas County say Uriha Ridge was in the woods with her kids for nearly 12 hours.
And Douglas County is very rural. You can be out there and nobody know you're out there for a very long time. But just this is premeditated. She thought this out. She probably went out there with a nice warm coat. And I can't even imagine why or how she could even go through with this, watching her child freeze to death. It's astounding. It is perplexing. But it's not something that we have not seen in the community occur over and over again at a very high frequency and growing frequency in this day and age.
Deputies responded to the Foxhall Resort on Caps Ferry Road and found Ridge and those 2 kids last Tuesday. They say the kids were drenched. The low the night before was just 27 degrees. Medics took them to the hospital where the 3-year-old girl, Alina, died. Sheriff's deputies say they
and she was trying to get rid of both of her kids. I mean, this woman is a monster.
Vanished around midnight, and Ridge didn't call for help until almost noon the next day, despite her phone being charged. They allege Ridge used cocaine and weed before heading out into those woods near the resort. She's now been charged with felony murder. There's no word on the condition of the other child who was with her. The Fox 5i team uncovered this isn't her first run-in with cops on child abuse charges. In 2022, she was charged with assault and cruelty towards children. According to the warrant, she was accused of beating Alina, who was 2 at the time, while dropping her.
And, you know, they continue to try and convince us that being single mothers is the way and you don't need a man and you can do it all by yourself. But then when these women are on their own, they're abusing the children at a higher rate than when the men are on their own, which is, you know, not that frequent. But infanticide, it's something that occurs with a lot of these women, and they can blame postpartum depression, all this, they can blame that if they want to, but that's not an excuse to take your child out and, you know, literally delete them using the elements.
While she was, quote, heavily intoxicated. A judge gave her bond and she was able to keep her kids. Last week, a day after the 3-year-old's death, the DA...
And she was able to keep the kids. And I bet she was fighting to them. Y'all can't take my kids away from me. But here she goes, squandering the opportunity that she was given. She probably shouldn't have got those kids back in the first place. They should have went to Child Protective Services. But this is another example of, you know, these criminals slipping through the cracks of the justice system.
They asked for that bond to be revoked.
And we do have calls out to the DA's office to see if this could have been prevented. She is set to be arraigned tomorrow at 1:30 in Douglas County Court. Meanwhile, tonight she is behind bars in shelter in the Douglas County Jail. In Douglas County, Rob DiRienzo, Fox 5 News.
Such a tragic story. Rob, thanks very much.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
Charges and accuses Uriha Faith Ridge with the offense of cruelty to children in the first degree.
Deputy Chief Assistant District Attorney Lauren Wallace detailed the charges against Uriha Ridge in the death of her 3-year-old daughter.
In addition to her cruelty to children in the first degree, she's also facing a charge of felony murder.
According to the arrest warrant on January 16th, Ridge took her 2 children into the wooded area near the Foxhall Resort, and they were out there for hours after allegedly getting lost. Police maintained she was high on cocaine and marijuana at the time. Officials...
And she's claiming she got lost. But why did you go out there in the woods in the first place?
Also added it was wet and freezing out, which resulted in Ridge's 7-year-old child being sent to the hospital, but her youngest didn't make it.
And she had her phone and it didn't die, so she could have used GPS. I mean, so many things wrong with her fake alibi, her alleged story as to why this happened. But this is deeper than negligence. This is just straight up murder.
She caused the death of Alina Paschal, a human being, a child, by taking the aforementioned child into the woods in the rain and freezing temperatures with minimal clothing for a period of over 11 hours, causing the child to become hypothermic and to die from exposure.
And this isn't the first time Ridge is accused of child endangerment. In November 2023, Ridge was arrested for being drunk at a bar and becoming physical with her children. The warrant states she punched and slapped one of the children multiple times and dropped the other. She was granted a $5,000 bond for that incident. But this latest arrest, which includes murder, comes with much greater penalties.
This charge is a felony. It is punishable by life imprisonment with the possibility of parole, life imprisonment without.
And look, she doesn't even seem fazed. She's like, well, that's better than taking care of my kids. That's the attitude that she's coming off as.
The possibility of parole and death by lethal injection.
Investigators say 35-year-old Uriha, charged in the death of her toddler, made her first court appearance today. Investigators say 35-year-old Uriha Ridge was lost in the woods for nearly 12 hours while high on drugs and didn't call for help even though her cell phone was charged. Fox 5's Brittany Edney has been investigating.
Right. They need to stop saying she was lost in the woods. She went out in the woods to kill her kids with the elements, and she's using the lost in the woods excuse as, you know, like I just said, an excuse to why this happened, to somehow displace the blame from herself.
In the story and is live outside the Douglas County Courthouse tonight. Brittany, what are some of the details you're learning about Ridge's history?
Russ, Ridge has been out on bond for previous child abuse charges since back in November of 2022. So we dug into those bond conditions, and current court records show that she allegedly was in violations of multiple bond conditions.
This is a first appearance here.
35-year-old Uriha Ridge stood before a Douglas County judge during her first court appearance Thursday.
You have a right to remain silent.
She faces a felony murder charge and cruelty to children charge in the death of her 3-year-old daughter, Alina.
And, you know, nobody's going to hold these women accountable. They're not. They're going to say, oh, well, postpartum and you know, it's her kid. She can do whatever she wants with it. I promise you I've heard that before in the comments section. Nobody's holding these women accountable. But a lot of them are, excuse my French, but they're just batshit crazy. These super single mother gremlins are on demon time.
Causing the death of Alina Pascal, a human being, a child, by taking the aforementioned child into the woods in the rain and freezing temperatures below 32 degrees Fahrenheit with minimal clothing for a period of over 11 hours, causing the child to become hypothermic and to die from exposure.
And this literally reminds me of the video of the woman who brought her kid into that Walmart. Y'all seen that one? I might play that one at the end just to show y'all this is not a one-off. These single mothers in the community, they hate their kids and they hate having to take care of them, and they hate that they can't be out there in the streets, and they would rather go to prison for the rest of their life and face the possible death penalty than to take care of their children. And that's why you see, you know, the results that we see with the young black men in the community who are shooting everything that walks.
While said accused was intoxicated on cocaine and marijuana.
Fox 5's I-Team discovered this wasn't Ridge's first run-in with the law for child abuse charges. In November of 2022, she was charged with assault and cruelty towards children and has been out on bond. Today, we uncovered court documents detailing those conditions, which include not drinking and going to both parenting and alcohol classes once a month, to which prosecutors say she never provided proof of attendance. She was also supposed to be living with her mother.
Wow.
Is this the residence?
So she was supposed to be living with her mother, and basically you were going to see her grandmama raising kids again, right? Grand ninjas. And here's the thing. Grandma is tired of taking care of the kids of, you know, their children, right? Now they want to see their grandchildren. They want grandchildren but they don't want to have to play mommy and daddy again when they've already done that. And that's what a lot of people in the community are doing. They having these kids super young, then passing them off to their parents, going out partying, living their lives, and then come back and wonder why their child is messed up or dead. That's literally what's happening in the community every single day.
Of Uriha Ridge?
It is.
We stopped by the last known address for Ridge to find out more from those who know her.
We don't have any statement at the time.
Back in court, the judge reminded Ridge of her rights.
You also would have a right to have an attorney present with you if you are being questioned by the authorities.
As she stood with a still face with her hands cuffed.
All right, Ms. Ridge, you're in the custody of the sheriff.
Ridge's son Elijah was also with her when all of this happened. We've now learned, and we've got an update for you tonight, that after he was in the hospital and treated for any possible injuries that he is now back at home with family members. Reporting live outside the Douglas County Courthouse, I'm Brittany Edney, Fox 5 News.
Brittany, thanks.
All right, guys, so here is the video that I was referring to of a woman who brings her child to Walmart with no clothes on, and basically when she walks in the Walmart, somebody gave her this plastic bag. You're gonna see in this video the mindset of these super single mother gremlins. You're really gonna see it, because it's absolutely disgusting how these women are carrying themselves in public with their children. And I feel bad for the kids, because a lot of times these kids are really sweet kids, but they are poisoned by these super single mother gremlins on demon time.
He came in here without that jacket on. Yeah, he did. That baby just had a pamper on. That's all he got on. I can't.
So people who are filming say the baby only had a pamper on.
Yeah, don't do that.
Throwing the cold food on the child. She don't care. She don't care.
Somebody call police. No, what's wrong with you? Somebody call police on her. Who are you? Lower your voice. Who are you? Get out that man face, please. You're crazy.
You hear her, the foot. Hey, what did I tell you? He says you're crazy. She says, "Show Liz, I told y'all that's the mentality. The foot. Why you talking to me anyway?" I'm telling y'all.
Please. You're crazy.
Twerking. Nobody else twerks after committing crimes like black women. I'm sorry, but like it makes no sense. And I mind you, people will be defending these actions in the comments. Trust.
What the hell? Somebody call police on her.
Go ahead, she gets already called 2 times. I keep paying. So long you got hot water, fire extinguisher.
But when you come in the store fully dressed and your baby's not.
Now, I'm going to call the cops right now. How many kids do you got?
I got one.
Oh, okay. So the next one. Come on, man.
And somebody else has to go put some clothes on a child. And she on her phone. This is the mindset. She's probably calling a Thug Max Alpha Simp to come spin the block because somebody confronted her about her neglecting her child.
Oh, baby.
And they want us to cuff this. You can't choose your parents. I mean, it's horrible, man.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't never in your life do that, baby. Don't give a damn. We run out there and go to that stove with you. You better stop and put something on. Hello. Okay.
And see, she wouldn't let the black man check her. They only are listening to black women. That's the only reason why she let anybody put clothes on the child. But a black man tried to check her and attitude, bucking up at them, twerking. You can't make this stuff up. This is why a lot of brothers are just, you know, it's just like, bro, we can't do nothing with it. We can't do nothing with you.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.